pieces. When we think of Valentine's Day, love is in the air. February 14th is around the corner, but this is a piece you will cherish for years to come. This is your cutest, most charming, adorable little cupids, and they are so unique and different. The ring is $159.95, so we have the ring, and this, I like the way this is set, that east to west in the oval, so I think that's a little bit more different and intriguing. And then the earrings are suspended with your beautiful cultured freshwater pearls. And I like the way it's connected because it does give you, it's articulated, so it gives you a little bit of movement and whimsy, almost as if you feel like the cupids are just kind of like floating by. It's really cool.
And you know, this design comes from very close to my home. Actually, the Pompeii, you know, the excavations of Pompeii, they're, you know, maybe 3-4 miles away from my home.
Okay.
And you go to this like buried city that was uncovered in the 1800s, and this Roman city that was buried under the ashes of Mount Vesuvio. So the entire city for 2,000 years was preserved under these ashes. So we found everything, and we found this house completely frescoed, I mean painted, all the walls, all the ceilings, 2,000 years, 2,200 years ago, with this design of puttini. This puttini means cupids.
Cupids.
So, and they were working, we call it like a working puttini, because there were all these allegories of little angels working, you know, like the carpenter and the metalsmith, you know. That's like one of the biggest things to look in Pompeii. So, and they're painted over red, the Pompeian red is famous. The walls were all painted in red. So I thought that the red of the cornelian would be the perfect backdrop, and I recreated the Pompeian puttini, the little cupids, designs as from the frescoes in the house in Pompeii, and make it a beautiful jewelry. And it's something that it almost reminds of the old days. Yes. It's almost like that neoclassical you know, style that's been brought back numerous times over the centuries, and it's so perfect with cameos. It's just so perfect. And it's not just you know, something that's been made and remade many times. This is done in the original cameos that you will find in the Archaeological Museum in Naples. You will see them in Pompeii, and then yet now they're still made in the same way they were made 1,000 years ago or 100 years ago, but completely hand carved, completely handmade, and even the silver is completely hand wrapped around the cameo. I was going to say the way it curls around, and even on one of the corners where that silver wraps around the ring, it's almost done in like a twisted or a rope-like design that just adds a little bit of texture, a little bit of flair, and I like how organic it is. It does have this organic nature. You know, cultured, how educational it is to have jewelry that speaks about mythology, speaks about architecture, speaks about Italian history, speaks about Roman history and mythology. So it's a world, it's a universe, all in one pair of earrings, and it makes it so beautiful to see, so feminine. You look like one of those, like a empress in the movies, like The Gladiator, or there's movies about the Roman Empire. Right. That's the idea, and I hope you appreciate it. There is such a global flair to it, as you talked about, that European, the history, the tradition, that really just harkens back to a time where that was slower, that wasn't as fast and all so technologically advanced. When we talk about the art of cameo making, you know, it's not like as the amount of advancements that there are in the world of jewelry making. When it comes to the art of cameo making, they're still relying on the same tools, the same traditions that have been passed down from generation to generation, from their grandfathers, from their fathers. And I think that is really what tells the story. I think that when you wear them, there is this energy, there is this love and goodwill and this passion that comes through. And they are noticeable. They are a good size. Each cameo, no two will ever be alike. There is a beauty, there's a creaminess, there's this really pretty like coral that just comes through and glows. And that's probably that beautiful shell that comes from Mother Nature. And that is what, when you put them on and you wear them, even AMEDEO, I like that because traditionally you don't add, but you did, like in our showstopper that sold out. I love that you're adding in the pearls. Exactly, because I think that pearls and cameos are like a perfect match. They are, you're right. And they're both like from the water. They're from the ocean. They both, I mean, pearls come from a shell. They're born into a shell, and the cameos are made out of a shell. So it's a perfect match, and they both speak of like the Victorian times and the Renaissance and you know, the old days when jewelry was really a symbol of status and you know, royalty.
It really is, and I do want to share with you, when you see the earrings side by side, they're two different depictions of the angels. So there's
like in the old days.
In the old days, it's not meant to be matchy on both sides. So don't think we messed up and we didn't put the right earrings together.
If you look at old cameos, vintage cameos in antique estate markets, the earrings never matched.
They never matched.
On purpose,
but
because
I just want
cameos were considered gems.
Right,
Individual gem, one of a kind.
But I just want to make sure, because if you get them at home and you go, oh, it's not the same earring, they must have messed up. No, that's what it's intended to be. So it gives that